Hi everyone. Today I am going to speak about the social media. Well, I think this topic is very important because the social media is very useful in this time, no? In my opinion, I think it's very useful when you are younger. No. I think it's very useful for all the persons. Um, I am very sure that you will ask you the reason, no, the why. Well, I will tell you. I think the social media is very useful now when you spend time, for example, seeing reels, seeing other stories of your friends, and that's. I think it's very useful when you use the social media, for example, Instagram, for you share your personality. No, I think it's very useful in this case when you share about your life, your story, or when you share your products and sell. And I think it's very useful on Instagram or Facebook. Practically, it's your personal market. I think it's your personal market, and that's. And well, I will tell you the first reason. The first reason when I consider that social media is very important, like Instagram, is because you can share your life. You can show your life to the other person. No, you can simply record you about that's something you like to do, no? About boxing, Muay Thai, swimming, play the guitar, ride a bike, read a book, or get out with your friend or with a mysterious girl, and that's. I think you can share with that, and you can practically cause curious at the other person when see your story, no? And the other persons say then, mm, oh, this person do this activity is very interesting. I wanna, I wanna to, I wanna to know more, and and I think it's very useful because apart of that, I think you can meet other persons. Particularly in my case, well, I am man, I meet different girls on Instagram. The girls is very beautiful, very beautiful. Well, other case, I meet other girls beautiful, but her life is very get out to the party all the time, drugs, drugs, and that I think is very well. It's very it's very other life, and that's. But in other parts, I've meet other girls that her very beautiful, like physical and life. Uh, the girls I meet my girlfriends for the moment. Really, I think it's very useful for that. Really. So for that reason, I consider it that have social media is very important. Obviously, you have to use social media for intelligent. Or I mean, share your photos, your videos, other activities, meet persons on Instagram, and then on the real life, and that. I don't say you that you have to spend time seeing reels, seeing other stories for about famous and that. I think it's a bit opportunity to build your life in a social app and then show the other people. No, I think it's not complicated, and that other part that I think is very useful is because you can build your personal market. I think it's very useful because when you have, for example, a company, or when you want to become an influencer and that, I think it's very useful because you can connect with a lot of person that you doesn't meet, and I think it's a thing very fascinating, very fantastic. You can you can practically sell your product, your service about that, about your personal market, about the person you are you are practically. and I think it's very useful in that part. Very useful, very useful. So I consider that social media is very important when you practically uh, want to meet a person, a girl, and that. And another part, I tell you, in my case, when I was 15, 16 years old, practically I used Instagram, but in that moment I had a phone, Samsung phone. Well, it's useful for me in that moment, but the photos is very complicated because, well, the photos it doesn't in HD and that. But well, in 2023, when I get my first iPhone, practically the photos is very changed. Practically, it's very HD, 4K in the photos, in the videos about my story. Practically, it's considered elevate my how can I tell you? Practically, I meet more girls. I meet more persons about that. More persons about interested for about the person that I am. Practically, is about all the stories. It's all about of the stories. It's very crazy, no? Practically. So I tell you, if you dedicate and you really compromise to start to use social medias about on Instagram, mm, I tell you the first thing that you have is a iPhone. It's very useful with the photos and videos. It's very useful. I don't tell you that, but I don't mean that other phones, for example, Samsung, Motorola, or other phones is not useful. No, it's useful, but if you have the opportunity to get an iPhone, I recommend it 100%. It's very useful in this case. And apart of that, I feel in social media you can get about about of the girls. You can meet other person that is very important because when you share the activity, for example, in my case is Muay Thai. Well, when I had Instagram, I share all the time about my combat or my Thai in my academic and that. Well, I follow other persons that is interested perfect and is about the same activity, of about box, Muay Thai and that. And well, I follow him, the person, and that person follow again, to me. I think is practically I think the other person considering is gay and that, but I think it's a new opportunity to meet other person. If you practically if you have a good profile or a good profile on Instagram, I can consider that other person don't see strange about you follow him and that. I see is the person says, "Wow, this person follow me," and his profile is very interesting. Why? I wanted to know. No, I wanted to meet. No, and that I think is very interesting in that case. I mean, you can meet all the person that you want. Practically, in my case, I meet a person that practically that do Muay Thai, and that is very interesting for that. Really, really, I meet other person about that, about other activities, about the parties, or in other case, you can meet all different girls. I think it's an opportunity that you have to use. No, uh, I meet other person that practically use Instagram for reels and that. I think it's very or well, your time is go to the trash, because you don't get the opportunity or take the opportunity to meet other persons or about to sell your product, your personal market, and that if you spend your time just seeing practically you are the consumer, you are the creator about the product or your profile and that. So I consider in conclusion that have a social media is very useful when you have a really focus, no? Really focus about you build your profile, and that you will get uh, you practically you will meet a lot of persons, like men or girls, and that's thank you.